Hey, this is Myles Tells and Domzilla. We're here with Jabril. What is your last name? I forgot your last name.
I'm Jabril Mack.
Jabril Mack. We're here with Jabril Mack, creator of the Weeklings. Right?
Yes, sir.
That's me.
So we'll just jump right into it, man.
All right, how long have you been animating? That's what I would like to know. How long have you been animating?
So it's funny you mentioned I've been animating since like middle school. When I'm from California, right? I'm from LA, but my family moved to St. Louis, Missouri. And it's hard going from a fun place like where are you guys from?
We grew up on the East Coast. I'm from Indianapolis.
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So,
but we're both in
Midwest
LA.
is definitely a different kind of place, right? So when you go from LA, the beaches, the fun, the excitement, to the middle of nowhere, it's kind of a culture shock. So there's nothing to do. My dad got me this random animation software called Toon Boom, and I started making cartoons from there. So ever since then, I was in my parents' basement, just copying the cartoons I'd watch on TV, watching SpongeBob, going frame by frame and trying to figure some stuff out. So I've been doing it for a while and was lucky in that I found my passion for animation pretty early on.
Word up, man. Okay, I want to know, where did you get the concept? I mean, of course you got the concept from the days of the week, but what made you characterize the days of the week?
So the Weeklings is a show about the days of the week, right? But at its core, it's about 7 friends. And these 7 friends have different personalities, and they're all so different perspectives and point of views on life, but they're joined together in this strong friendship. It's actually based on my experiences in college, right? We all came into our dorm freshman year, excited to start college. We're all from different parts of the country, and we were all so different. But over the course of the year, we kind of built this really strong bond in our dorm floor. And I wanted to bring that kind of, that cool, that friend group spirit to a show. So even though it is based on the days, I thought it'd be cool to ground it in something that's real. You know what I mean?
Which day are you?
I play Tuesday, but each personality of the character is a little bit of me in there. I like to think I'm as cool as Friday, but we all know maybe not so much.
Right.
I like to have fun like Saturday, but it's either me or someone I know.
That's actually fantastic, and that's the way to do things. Like the way you write it. When you write a story, you're putting yourself out there. So of course you want to pull from real life experiences, make characters from people that you know.
Right.
So what were some of your inspirations for the creation of the show? I guess before I don't know if this will taint your answer, but I kind of thought of a little bit of BoJack Horseman with a lot of the puns that were in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought a lot of those were really cool.
I actually have not seen too much BoJack.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think. For the Weeklings, it's I grew up watching a lot of The Simpsons and SpongeBob. I'm like the most generic, like mainstream. All of my like cartoon friends call me like the Starbucks white girl of like animation, kind of like the most basic stuff,
Yeah, I grew up without cable, so like I saw a lot of Simpsons, mainly Simpsons growing up as a kid. So
see, what's good about I love that show because it's just so classic. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
A solid Simpsons episode is like some of the best television out there. So
Yeah, for sure.
definitely try to imitate that. But SpongeBob's also great. But of course, everyone loves SpongeBob. I'm a big fan of Gendy's work, so Dexter's Lab,
Yes.
Samurai Jack,
Yes. My favorite.
all this stuff like that. We all grew up watching it. How old are you guys?
I'm 31.
I'm 30.
Yeah, so we're about the same age. So, we all grew up watching the same stuff. I wanted to bring that kind of, I feel like with the stuff I work on, I want to always have a nice heart to it. And I think that the stuff we grew up, especially the movies we watch, like Pixar stuff, is a big influence on me as well. Having those characters learn those lessons and tell those stories that are universal for everybody.
Word up. Well, all right. So actually that brings me to another question. Animation Hustle. So,
Okay.
Animation Hustle, that's where I first heard of you. Like I've been following you for a few years now and like keeping up. As a matter of fact, I commented on one of your posts and I was like, dude, where do you get all these videos from? I'm looking on YouTube, I can't find them anywhere. I was like, I'm looking in, I'm typing in Toy Story documentary. Like I'm getting like 8 minutes, 9 minutes or something. I'm like, this looked like some full on stuff, you know? So, and you commented back, gave me a link, and I was like, sweet. And I've been following you ever since. But I just want to know, like, did that come before the Weeklings, or did you already have Animation Hustle before then?
I think Animation Hustle came after. So, you guys know who Gary Vee is, like Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Uncle Gary. Like, he's like I would not be where I'm at without this dude right here. And I knew the power of social media. So, you know, it's funny because we just find the videos on YouTube, but.
Yeah, see, I don't know what was the words.
That's that secret sauce.
That's the sauce right there. Yes.
But honestly, I think a couple of years ago, there was a lot more stuff on YouTube. So we were watching them as we were making our pilot, and it was so inspirational for us. I figured it'd be nice to share with other people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like YouTube has really like kind of deleted all this cool behind the scenes stuff. But I swear there was a year or so where this one channel was posting a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. And I was like, rip it off, put it on Instagram, rip it off, put it on Instagram.
Exactly.
So we have some videos like, you know, all the behind the scenes stuff from these DVDs and stuff like that people put out there. And it's great building a community. So when I need people to, you know, to work on my projects, or people have projects to come to me and I help get the word out to the animation community on there, which is really great. It's just great having that community there. And I want to do more with it. As we build out the Weeklings, recently, you know, we're going to expand on it in a pretty big way pretty soon here. And I want to use Animation Hustle as like a vlog series to show the production of the show. So I'm building some stuff up.
Yeah, I see you out here, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay, do you have any other like cartoons lined up along with Weeklings that you're working on?
Yes, I got a lot of cool stuff coming out.
I'm super curious about like your process though. Like I mentioned earlier, like about the puns that are in the show. I mean, with Labor Day wearing all white, and then half day is super short, and but Arbor Day is a treat. I mean, I guess some of those are low hanging fruit, right? But like, what was the
right
with all these holidays, or with the personification of the holidays?
One more time, you cut out on me.
Oh, okay, my back. I was wondering, like, kind of sort of what was your process for coming up with some of these holidays and, you know, personifying them? I don't know, when I was watching the show, at least for the days of the week, you kind of mentioned how they're friends and all that kind of stuff. They look like they complement each other, like those 7 days. They kind of fit together, like just visually like a puzzle, at least to me. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but what was the creative process like for coming up with all these characters? Like,
so it honestly is. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm dumb. I keep things easy. So it's like looking at a calendar and seeing what's the next day, right? Like what holiday do we have, and seeing what the holiday represents, and then seeing how that turns into a character, right? So April Fool's Day, obviously it's a prankster, right? What does that mean? Or, you know, we have my favorite holiday-based joke is with the New Year's ball drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like that for me is like, like when we came up with that, I was like, perfect. Like this is exactly what I want the show to be. Where they're puns, but it's a little bit more than just the puns. You know what I mean? Like it's still funny on its own. So I think that the first episode was a lot more grounded, but as we got kind of more crazier, especially stuff we're doing now, it's going to be more. The character's going to be bigger. Funnier, more exaggerated, and just having a way, you know, so much more fun with what we're doing. So as long as the personalities represent these days, I think we're good to go. One of the pressures is these holidays represent cultures, represent people, right? So we have to make sure that we hit these personalities and make sure these characters are, you know, multidimensional. And if you're sitting there watching it as a young girl and you identify as quinceañera, we got to make sure that character speaks to you, you know? So that's kind of, you know, a little bit of a challenge, but it's good I want to bring those diverse perspectives into the show in a way that's not as, not as, what's the word? forced, if you will, if that makes sense.
So I'm sure you have a few other heads in there, you know, like a few other people like influencing, like, oh, I think we should do this and add this or whatever with that perspective. Or, you know, it's not just all you now at this point in time. You dropping seasons, you know, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that definitely makes a lot of things easier. That quinceañera one is a good example or something like that. Like you gotta feel that, you know, not just, you know, as the culture as a whole.
Yeah.
Not just as like a person in the culture. You gotta feel the culture coming from that character. So So yeah, like that's actually something. I'm an animator as well. And I'm doing everything on my own. I don't have a team or anything like that yet. My homeboy Myles and they're like learning animation like on the whim just to try to help me out. But that's something that I feel like I would run into is like that perspective. You know, not having that type of insight. So yeah, I don't know. It's really
what kind of stuff do you make?
Well, I mean, all right, so it's a cartoon. It's a few cartoons that we're working on here, but like, all right, so my cartoon is about a space cadet, like a space cadet. Like it was actually influenced by this universe that I found on No Man's Sky, the video game.
Okay, yeah.
You know, the galaxy. I found a galaxy. It was untouched, and I named it myself and whatever. And I literally based the whole cartoon in this galaxy. So and it's called Juke. My character's name is Juke. Has a tail. There's a lot of crazy rogue creatures on this planet, and so I haven't had to slide into those dynamics as far as like personalities or like what's going to represent who and all that yet. If I'm going to at all, but yeah. So
yeah, like for me, when I come up with a new show idea, I don't have the show until I have those relationships, those characters. Mm-hmm. I was just talking with the creator of Harvey Beaks and Chowder.
Okay.
And he kind of echoed the same thing where he's talking about how like during the development of especially Harvey Beaks, how much things change as the characters' relationships would change, right? So it started out more about the Fee and Foo characters. Have you guys seen Harvey Beaks?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So it started out as one thing, and then as relationships developed, the show kind of revealed itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're creating stuff, I recommend like just getting those personalities down, you know, getting those relationships down. That's the core.
And I've only got a few characters created, and I don't know their dynamics. Like I said, I don't know that exactly, but I'm working on one. And then we have a full scripted. We're working on storyboard for another cartoon right now. That's already set. It's like in 1920s. It's not my story. It's one of my friend's stories.
Yeah,
so.
that one's kind of like a
David Lynchy.
Okay.
Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, I've been.
So do you guys have a group, or how'd you guys all link up?
So I mean, we're new. I'm new to LA. I just moved to LA in February. I've been doing cartoons and I've been doing animation for a couple years heavily, and moved here. Met him when I moved here. Then I met everyone else, and we just built this studio and been doing a show called Acme News on YouTube and delivering the latest news on animation, things like that. We've mentioned you in our show actually. And we just do art all in this garage. We just met randomly and we just start creating together. So
that's the best way to do it. What part of town are you guys at in LA?
Hollywood. We're in Hollywood. Yeah, right next to the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I used to live downtown. Now I live in kind of in Long Beach.
Carson.
Oh, Carson. Okay, yeah, you're in the south.
Yeah.
I used to live down by Wilmington. When I I moved to Wilmington, and then I ended up in Hollywood. I've been here for a few years, but when I got here, I jumped. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but I knew that when I got here, I wanted to be in entertainment. So when I got here, I got a regular job, and I just kept telling everybody, what I wanted to do until somebody got sick of hearing it. And
Right.
there's somebody who's doing something, do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, hell yeah. And I've been working in mostly reality TV. I'm starting to get into like music videos and like other scripted stuff now. Hopefully a heck of a lot more once everything opens up. But I was living here and met this guy, and like we just started talking about ideas that we had, and we found out that a lot of our ideas sunk up, or like that we really wanted to help each other out with each other's ideas, and a few months later on this happened.
Acme News.
Yeah,
that's good. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm glad that you guys are also, hustling and not taking no for an answer, not waiting for permission. That's my whole thing. It's like if we were to wait, people like us were to.
It was like make
go for it.
Resume. Don't wait for somebody else to add to your resume.
Yeah, we live in a world where we don't have to ask permission for anything at all. I mean, you're proof of that. I mean, honestly, you're putting out a cartoon right on your own, right? Basically on your own, right? And 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't even. It wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
Technology is making everything so much easier. So the excuses are slowly melting away. Yes, so we can't do anything.
Yep. 1,000% agree. Like I feel like it is our creative responsibility to take advantage of all the tools that we have today. Yep. Because the people 10, 15 years ago wish they had, like they would kill to be where we're at right now.
Exactly.
So we have to put in all the effort we can, and people like us, we have to make opportunities for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because if we wait around, we're not going to get the opportunity. It's just not going to happen. So I'm glad that you guys are on the same wavelength and just like let's just do it. What's stopping us?
What's stopping us? There's no point. There's no point at all. So like, yeah, we just been our own bosses, man, making that bread, dude, doing commission work and stuff.
So
that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have a question. It's kind of like burning. Like you've got with the Weeklings, and with your Instagram accounts, you developed this online presence. I don't know. This doesn't really have to be on the record or whatever, but like being a creator of color, like has that. Like, do you notice any difference between the way you have to do things, versus the way somebody else might have to do things, or? Yeah, I don't know. Like
I'll say this. There's definitely a difference. I think that I had some in the development world at certain studios. I definitely had some experiences where I would pitch an idea, and because my ideas aren't necessarily like the Weeklings is not a race-based thing, but a lot of people might come into the room, they expect me to have some sort of like Proud Family type idea or something like that, where I pitched a show that was about a female sheep character, and the executives looked at me and were baffled as to how in the hell I could relate to a character like that and create a character like that, because it wasn't like a black kid, if that makes sense. So what's funny about it is that one of my best friend, my creative partner is JT. He's a white dude, and he got to experience firsthand, because he's in the room with me, of how different the race stuff plays into the industry, right? So if my ideas aren't quote unquote black enough or whatever enough, a lot of people kind of used to write me off. And it's one of those things where it makes no sense, right? Like, we're all diverse, we're all creative, we can all create different cool stuff. It doesn't matter who we are, what we look like, but a lot of people still, even to the day.
We want you to be a stereotype. Just be the stereotype. Just do it.
Yes. And then we had a show that was kind of more in line with what they wanted, but then they tell me what it is, what a true, authentic black experience is, but they're not. They're like middle-aged white ladies.
Right.
Like, oh, really? Like, okay, whatever.
Crazy.
So we do have a lot of stuff like that, but I think that, compared to before, it's getting better. We just got to keep getting our stories out there and being better. Like, my whole thing is that I want to prove and make this path this way so that it'd be easier for people coming behind me. I'm like equipped to do it. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm paving this way. So hopefully now that I have this path, people can see that there's other ways to do different things, and we can get more creative ideas out there, spread the wealth, if you will.
Oh.
And yeah, I couldn't have said it much better myself. I don't think I could. No, thank you for the advice and everything. And that's really one of the coolest things that I thought. Like, that's one of the things that I thought was really cool about your show is that I could see it in a lineup next to SpongeBob. You know.
Yes, exactly, man.
Or I can see it next to Dexter's Laboratory, and not just the quality of the animation of itself, but the writing itself. Like, it's not focused on one demographic. And
thank you.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
You the man, Jabrilio.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I've been a fan of yours for a long time, dude. So I'm stoked to even be sitting here looking at you when you actually responding to what I'm saying here. So it's a pleasure being here, like in a conversation with you, and just even hearing what you have to say. Period. Sure.
Of course. If you guys ever need anything, let me know. I'm here. I'm this normal dude just making cartoons. So.